What it do, what it do, what it do. It's your boy Big Val Opinion back with another live video. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that share button. And most importantly, make sure you sub to the channel. Turn on that post notification bell so that you be notified each and every time that your boy Big Val is going live, man. With that being said, let's get into this intro. Welcome to Big Val Opinion. Moderators, with my permission, any negativity in the chat should be hidden from this channel. This channel is a negativity-free channel, drama-free channel, and we are here to push the message out. We will not be distracted. So with my permission, any negativity in the chat should be hidden from this channel. Welcome to Big Val Opinion platform.
And I just really want people to know I appreciate anybody that's helping me. I appreciate anybody that's helping me. A lot of people have been there for me. I just don't want people going back and forth, being mad at each other because one person did this for me and another person did that for me. That's what the devil wants. He wants to cause confusion. That's what these people want. They want to cause confusion. And confusion ain't gonna do nothing but keep me in here. But the real thing here.
Man, we here. What up, Unc?
Good evening, nephew. How you feeling? I'm getting
I
I'm getting
feel good.
I'm getting a echo feedback. Okay, I don't hear it now.
Yeah, I had to
Hi.
unhook the Bluetooth.
Okay,
I had
how's
to
everybody
unhook.
doing? I'm
What's
finished
going
work
on,
right now.
everybody?
So the deal, Mike, we had a lot of stuff going on, so I couldn't, speak a moment ago. But we're gonna stay on mute.
Oh, you good? You good? We just getting started. We just finna crank this thing up. What's up, everybody in the chat? As y'all see today, man, we gonna go down there. We gonna go down through there. But first, I said today I'm in a different mood today. So,
And I sense that. I sense that already.
I'm in a different mood today. This is where I want to go today. That's where I want to go today. Hey, oh yeah. Today is the day. Today is the day. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. I've been rocking out, jamming all day today, boy. I've been on one. I've been on a whole nother level today, boy. I'm talking about a different type of energy out of this atmosphere, Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What's up,
So
man? What's up?
today, we gonna visit um we're gonna visit malicious conspiracy video from yesterday. She put out a video, and the video entails some things that was pointed out in the appeal in the briefing. Um, Shout out to the new member Lisa. Shout out to Lisa McCray for the new membership. That's what's up. I'm liking it. I appreciate it. Most definitely appreciate it. Shout out to you. Then we're gonna revisit these text messages, about the clary. The video that was put out yesterday on malicious conspiracy addressed some of the charges that RKelly was charged with pertaining to the star witness in New York. So Um, understand that we are on a we are in an uphill battle trying to make progress, you know. And I know it probably seems to some people that we're not moving. I know some people think that the message is not getting out. Some people may be discouraged, but I'm telling y'all, I'm here to tell y'all, if you believe in something and you truly believe in it, no matter how long it takes, you should never give up that belief.
That's true. That's true.
You have to stand firm in what you believe in, regardless of how doubtful it gets sometimes. You know, sometimes you might want to give up, but we understand that the devil play those type of mind manipulation games to make you feel like you done so much and you done put in so much work for nothing. And that's just to make you feel comfortable with the thought of giving up. But over here, we believe in innocence. We believe in justice. We believe in fighting against injustice and just speaking the truth. Just speaking the truth. Whether it's my truth, truth, anybody truth that's on the chat, on the panel. All of the guys that comes up on the panel. You know, all of these guys, I respect their opinions. I expect their thoughts, where they come from, because it's all of our thoughts that we put together to form a big conclusion of understanding for everybody that listen. Um, I'm not out here trying to be the big fish. Hell no, I don't want to be hunted. I want to swim at the bottom. I want to swim with all the little fish. You're gonna have to find me.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that.
I want to swim with. I want to swim in the pack with the little fish. You're
Yes,
gonna have to
sir.
pick through to find me. I don't want to be the big fish.
Right.
Mm.
We don't hustle to be seen, like Ice T said. We don't hustle to be seen. We hustle different.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They hunt. They prize fish for big fish. They ain't out there trying to catch no little fish.
Right. Right. What up? What up? What up? Provoke talk. What up, Prophet?
Hey, what's going on, child, this evening, man? How y'all feeling?
What's going on, brother Derek? You know it's always good to have you in the building.
Yes,
Oh
sir. Sit up.
man, I'm not trying to be, VIP no more. I need to be more regular,
Nah,
Now
man,
that,
we understand transitioning, man. We understand transition.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back because we gonna have to keep it going, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Next we might be trying to have to free Diddy or some damn shit. The way they acting out here in these streets,
You
shit.
see guys going.
I don't know, we might have to get Diddy out of jam. Like, man, like y'all clowning, man. But for real, man, I'm sitting up here, man, and we days away from the appeal. It's gonna be interesting, man.
Yeah. 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 A lot of people backpedaling. They trying to disappear. They resigning from positions. They trying to reshape they once they previously stated.
It's interesting, man. It's like you know, the text messages, man. Them Clarys, bro, from the very, very start, hanging around with the likes of a Michael Avenatti, a master extortionist. How long y'all been playing this game?
Yeah.
How long y'all done know Michael Avenatti?
Yeah. Yeah.
How deep does this setup really go?
Man, did I hear right there, nephew? Right? Did I hear right? The former attorney for Chicago, Illinois, was linked to Sony.
I don't know, man. We got it here. Where
Yeah,
they,
what's
I
that
don't
person?
know, man.
Sorry, George something. Prima
I'm
donna
not
look
quite sure.
George something. The name I can't remember how you pronounce the name. J Rock would know, but she supposed to have played some type of part, but only they linked some kind of way.
I mean, you never really know, man, in this situation. When you get to talking about a man's masters, when you get to talking about people in the government that's with the shits, you know, we just watched the whole series of Snowfall about how the government get down and how they done got down and how they continue to get down, man. I mean, the government is absolutely crooked and they got their hands in every damn thing.
And that's why I don't understand. Um, well, I guess somewhat I do, and it just amazes me how we as individuals across the globe don't realize how much power there we got as individuals. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And if we can check self and come together for a common good, everybody can be blessed, everybody can eat, and everybody can have a voice heard, and we can really make a difference on stopping the impact of how they do us.
right. And like from what I'm gathering, it's a mentality. We got a mentality to do this. This has been indoctrinated in us for years and years and years. We can't help it, man. You know, we talked about it. When we got into the fact that we say he must have done something to
Mm-hmm.
deserve what he got. So the type of thought processes that we as black people have, are we against our own people more so than the white folk?
Right. It's us now. It ain't even. We don't even have a opposition. We are the opposition. We
You
are
know
our
what?
own.
And you know what? We've been so afraid of the white man for our entire existence. This is the type of situation that got Emmett Till took because everybody in that house could have whooped them two white men ass and let that be the reason.
And dealt
What's
with it. And dealt with it whenever dealt with the consequences. When they come. That's the
And the
same
com
shit.
and the consequences be the consequences. But we don't know how to, you know, we don't know how to do that. But we'll give one our own up quick. But then we got a no snitching policy. It sound like bullshit. How you gonna have a no snitching rule when you dry snitching all the time? Because all this bullshit is from some dry snitching ass shit from some
yeah,
people that already had some issue that stole some money from the man or got a vendetta against the man to feel like he owed them something for something that they did. He was supposed to pay them way more than the ticketed price for the shit because his name is R. Kelly.
right, right.
Hmm.
And you know what gets me? You are how this is how you know you in the hands of a manipulator, a mastermind, evil manipulator, is when they cause you to feel bad and guilty about the wrong that they're doing to you.
Right.
You, you,
Pure
you know,
narcissism.
you know what I'm saying,
Exactly.
brother JT,
Narcissism.
brother JT, brother Crux. Hey, I would have loved to see that blue car man with the peanut butter interior.
That's the thing, man. I miss that and bring back memories, man. You must have caught the episode. I was talking about.
Bro, I like y'all whole swag. Y'all whole stilo, man. I rocks
Oh
with that.
yeah.
Man. I rocks with that. Straight up. Hey, and I like what Kingpin said. If I stay petty, I never have to worry about trying to get petty.
Mm.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
fact.
man. Can't been a fool with it. Peace and
That's a
blessings to
that's
everybody.
a life fact.
Everybody. Yeah, man. That's
Yeah, I
that.
check
See
it.
that y'all touching on some good things. I was just sitting back listening, taking notes.
Man, you've been grinding for a long time, bro. And you probably know my brother, man. My brother moved around a lot out here like that. And I'm sure I'd have probably brought a CD from you, man. I'm telling you, man. You look real familiar. I'm telling you, it had to be, man. You had to be, man. But I know you've been grinding for a long time, bro. You ain't new on the block.
Right, yeah, been around the block off and on, I took my little hiatus here and there. Cause I mean, that's what the game will do to you. You know what I'm saying? It be like, shoot, let me fall back. Then life happens. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get the beauty in it is you can always come back to it. A lot of this stuff ain't gonna never go nowhere. So
Right, right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I just
That's
do it
what's
at
up.
my leisure now.
That's what's up, my brother. I rocks with you, bro. I rocks with that.
Oh man, appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. They say Jeff, my Midwest brother. What's up, man? Shit.
Man, provoked thought. What it do, Charlie? How you
Oh
feeling, bro?
man, nothing, man. I've been amidst a lifestyle, a life changing move, and loving life right now. It has its highs and lows. Things are stabilizing on all fronts, and everything is pretty much a go for me right now.
Oh,
So
that's a
we like I
beautiful
was
space
saying,
to be in.
yeah. So basically, I'm noticing, I'm thinking about the fact that RKelly appeal coming up, man. It's close.
Man, close.
And I've been thinking about all we done talked about, on these panels, man, and all we done cracked open that literally has been opened up in the actual court documents, just in our conversation and common sense.
Mm-hmm. What they were
So,
saying for the longest, them text messages ain't gonna be able to get introduced.
Well, how you like us now? Can you see
mm-mm.
me now?
So,
Can you?
and speaking of the text message, I got something for y'all. And shout out to Seeker. I think it's Seeker Jane. Um, on Twitter, she had posted it or whatever. She posted a capture from the text messages between the mama and the daughter. And we go back to this Dolphin Hotel incident because there was a part of the testimony. If you go here, when she talks about the Dolphin Hotel incident, she was speaking about they were having sex, and then knocked at the door. He looked in the peephole, and it was the officers. She went in the bathroom, and he got himself together, let him in, so on and so forth. That was her story about the Dolphin Hotel incident. So we go here to these messages, and shout out, like I say, shout out to Seeker Jane. I'm not sure if y'all can see them big, but this little circle part, right? This little. I want to start where it says, uh, she says, hold on, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. When the mama asked, when she said the incoming was the mama asking, he hit you, and she said, well, she was talking to her mama earlier, prior to the mama asking her, have he hit her? They were talking about going to a DTLR, which is a clothing store or whatever. Then the mama goes on to ask her, he hit you? Then she goes to tell her mama wanted to go after school and who? Then she asked the mama, did R. Kelly text you? Mama goes and said, yeah. He said he's staying on tour bus, but he wants to get a hotel room for just y'all so y'all can get away from security at MGRS. I guess that's the resort that they was at or whatever. And the daughter goes on to say, heck no. Then she say, what the fuck? And then she say, you should say, why a room? I know a great studio. Now this is the daughter telling the mama, why did she suggest a studio versus when he said something about a room, she's like, why didn't oh man, block Audra or somebody because this I don't like to do this, man. But I do it myself. Because we on something else right now. And that ain't what's up. We barking up the wrong tree. You just came over here. What the fuck? And so the mama goes on to say, she tells the mama why not tell him you know what studio at versus him saying about the hotel room. And then the mama laughs. She laughs at the shit. Then she say, she's like, what you gonna do? Shaking my head. Incoming was the mama. I don't know. He want you to call when you're ready to meet, so he can tell you where. Then she say, I'm not in a studio. It was an incoming. I'm not in the studio here. Although when I met you, I did not know you were trying to sing. So I gave you the number because I like you. But I would love to hear you sing a song. So this is I guess
So
this
she
was
didn't even sing for him backstage. She
no
didn't even sing.
this
She didn't
this
even
is
sing for the
from R.
nigga
Kelly.
backstage.
Right.
Huh?
This gotta be a message from R. Kelly saying, uh he said, I'm not in a studio although when I met you I did not know you were trying to sing. So I gave
Right.
you the number because I like you. But I would love to hear you sing a song. So what we will do is you call me around 7 and I'll let you know where to meet me and I'll just come down and meet you. Okay? This is what he texts, this is what he said. So it go, all these it say incoming. That was the last text. And then it say, oh shit. Then she say, shoot. Okay, so what the mama say, watch your mouth. She say, sorry, I know. Then it says, so I'm going to Malika's till 4. And then it says, okay, he said he gonna meet you. No hotel. Call when you're ready. Now he said he's gonna meet her, but no hotel.
Man,
Call
look.
when you ready. So how did now we going back to the Dolphin Hotel incident that this girl sat on the stand and made up when it clearly says here he said he's gonna meet you, no hotel.
Wow.
Did they ever get up in the room? Did any of that shit ever happen, man?
That's the whole illusion. Did
Sound
any of this shit ever happen?
like it was fabricated on her part.
Hey,
To
them
paint a
text
narrative.
Look,
messages.
look. She didn't even sing for that dude at the concert.
They said that was the whole premise of them even, man.
The motherfucker's been saying she went back there and
Yeah,
sung for the nigga. She came out, I sung for him, and la 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 la. No.
yeah.
In the
But
text
you hear him
messages.
saying, I
He,
didn't know that you sing.
I ain't know you want to sing.
Wow. So that means they didn't even present that to him. Wow.
Damn.
Hey man, what can you say, man? Hey,
Man,
Damn.
them
yep,
text messages, the more you read them, the more you catch stuff, little details like that. Just be like, wow.
yep.
So when people
Damn.
say y'all are going, we are talking about what was directly
She
testified
didn't
to.
even sing to him at the concert. Jennifer Bonjane, if you're listening to me.
Yes. Put that work in. You
I'm
give them
telling
that.
you, Midwest, you from Valparaiso, I'm from the G. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
The shit crazy, man, when you look at it.
Straight like that.
She ain't even sing to that man at that concert. They lied. Lie.
He
That's
didn't even
another
know she
lie.
was, he didn't even
That's
know she
another.
was he didn't even know she was a singer.
Hey,
Right.
that's another lie uncovered. Lie.
But the daddy, the
Got y'all
daddy
ass.
and everybody is saying that she supposed to been auditioning.
Got y'all ass. He like, I ain't know her. He like, I ain't know you was trying to sing. The fuck? Wait a minute, hold on.
So now when you go from there right there, now saying that okay, he said he gonna meet you, no hotel, call when you ready. Now it makes this make all the sense right here.
Man, look, G, that's crazy, man.
When you go here now to the mama talking about the 20K, you better when she told her it's not no, it's not, girl. You better get with the program. You better stop taking shit for granted. That man just spent 20K or better on you, and you
Ain't
on
getting
you
no
ain't got
coochie.
no coochie. Now
No
this is
coochie.
from the Dolphin Hotel to Richmond to Stockton to Las Vegas, the whole trip. This was the man at charge of him having supposedly had sex with her when she went to California.
But if he didn't get no coochie, last time that I checked, coochie only meant one thing.
Right.
You know, the coochie been coochie since it's been coochie. So
Right. What this must be something new. This must be some three-dimensional coochie.
I promise you, you know what I'm saying? He ain't get no coochie. So, all right. That means none of that shit happened, man. I'm telling you.
Now, you take this shit right here and you go to the charges that he was charged with. When you talk about Jane Doe number 5, the star witness in the New York trial. This is the messages of the mama telling her that she testified to them having sex on their initial meeting at the Dolphin Hotel. Well, we got some feedback. I don't know, somebody got to mute up. I don't think Jeff out riding around right now. But the mama, she testified to them being caught, them getting down at the Dolphin Hotel, the police coming, all this shit right here happened. She showed the police the ID. The police leave. He asked her, "Is you 18?" She said, "Yeah." And then they continued to finish doing what they were doing. But now when you go through these text messages and he's saying that, hey, you go through the text message and it's saying that he never he never he never got he told her he would meet her somewhere, but no hotel. Now how the fuck did the hotel, like, this shit just a bunch of goddamn deception. But if you go back to what took place in trial, according to the star witness testimony, this is what they charged them for. Everything that she alleged took place. So when you say somebody that took somebody from across state lines with the intention of having having sex with them or whatever the situation may be, now you look at Now you look at this shit like, hold on. The text messages put shit out in a whole different. The text messages lay out a totally different format versus what was testified to.
How you guys doing?
Brother Levi, what's going on?
What's up, nephew? Can you guys hear me pretty well?
Yeah,
Yes,
what's
sir.
up?
What's going on?
What's
been
up,
going
Yo,
on,
what's
brothers?
up,
bro?
man? What's going down?
What's going on, brothers? What's going on, man? I just want to first commend and applaud nephew Vi and all you gentlemen for engaging in the analytical conversation concerning all of this. I want to thank Brother Vi for revisiting these text messages because I've said countless times, and I stand on it, that this newfound information as it pertains to the entire transcript of the text messages, it is without a doubt, it is the first indicator showing how Robert was set up and how basically it was nothing but a railroading and a conspiracy. I spoke with Rob yesterday, and I said to him, I said, man, this is like a murder mystery. In order to bring to light what actually occurred with you and how you were set up, is like solving a murder mystery. And he agreed. So I have to commend you guys. I have to commend Brother Vi. I have to commend all of those who continue to analyze. The reason why I came on, I'm going to be brief, is that Big Vi just read something. And if you could possibly, brother Big Vi, go back to what you first read from the young lady's channel, and there's an excerpt in there where Robert is texting. If it's possible. If you can't, I could just finish what I'm saying without. Okay, there you go. Now, as you were reading that, I want people to pay very, very close attention. If you can, hopefully I'm not staticking.
Now you good,
man.
That's how y'all know how these people play.
You good.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? Time you get down to it, they want to play games now, these people. Now listen, if Brother Vibe, you can please read that again as you just did from the top.
It said, what, from I'm not in the studio?
Have you heard from him, or did he hit you?
She say he hit you. Then this is the mama asking her, he hit you. Then she said wanted to go after school. She talking about the mall. Then she asked the mama, did RKelly text her?
Stop right there, brother. Stop right there. Now I'm gonna say this again, y'all. The Titanic treasures, some of the biggest mysteries of the world, have been solved by individuals like us. All it takes is to be a thinking person. Now, Vi just read what she asked the mother, did he hit you? Did he text you? When you compare that to the testimony of Jane Doe number 5, when she was asked by the prosecutors, were you aware that your mother was communicating with RKelly? She said no.
No.
Say that again.
Were you aware at the beginning that your mother was communicating with RKelly? She said no. Now stop right there, brothers. I want y'all to listen to me, brothers. Listen to me, brothers. There's a basic fundamental to law and testimony. What you deposit as testimony, it is similar to us in our relationships. I'm talking to the brothers right now. If your old lady, girlfriend, wife, whatever, came home from work late, 3 hours late, and she said to you, you said, where were you at? And she says, the grocery store. But you know for a fact she wasn't at the grocery store because you went to the grocery store. When she tells that first lie, can you believe anything she says?
Oh, no.
That first lie.
Yeah, everything else is questionable.
as men in relationships, this is why we have to make sure we treat our women right. I don't want to be in a position, back in the day, yeah, but I don't want to be in a position where I have to tell my woman one lie. Because once you tell a woman one lie, she'll never trust you again as far as infidelity. Right? Okay, now let's back up. It's the same way with our system of jurisprudence. When you sit on the stand, the girl told a goddamn lie at the beginning of her testimony.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we believe anything else she said, for one? Now, Brother Vi, if you can continue reading from there, please, right? Keep going.
All right. She says, yep, he said he's staying on tour bus, but he wants to get a hotel room for just y'all so y'all can get away from security in MGRS, etc. Oh, heck no. What the heck? You should have said, why a room? I know a great studio. And she goes to say, laughing my ass off. What we gonna do? Then she said, like shit. Then it goes to say, I don't know. He wants you to call when you're ready to meet so he can tell you where. And then this is the insert of RKelly saying, texting, I'm not in a studio here, although when I met you, I did not know you were trying to sing.
Stop right there, brother. Stop right there, brother. Thank you. Stop. I want y'all to think. Thinking minds. I want y'all to listen to me, brothers and sisters who are listening. Listen to me very closely. It was thinking people who put my cousin in this situation. It wasn't no dumb people. The people that sat around the oak tables at Lifetime are thinking people. The people who drafted those indictments are thinking people. Some of them are geniuses, as they use music in the Lifetime docuseries to pull at your heart, as they put halos behind the so-called victims' heads and put halos to feed the subconscious mind that they were angels. But every time they showed RKelly, he had a cigar with smoke coming from his nose, man. These are thinking people. These are wicked thinking people. Now listen, Brother Vi just read a conversation between the mother and the daughter. Then she says, well, what are we going to do? Then you got it on the screen you're looking at, and you heard Brother Vi read it, where all of a sudden she forwards. Listen to me now. She forwards Robert's text message that he sent to the mother. She forwards it to the daughter as we forward messages.
Right.
Right? Put on your thinking caps, brothers and sisters. That means there was another phone going on. There was another play. There was another phone. What's in the phone? If she forwarded Robert's that one message,
It's a whole conversation going on.
oh, brother, I love you, brother. It's a whole fucking conversation going on between the mother and him.
Right. You remember she said, she told her, I'm going to send you back what you replied to him, but make sure you copy and paste it. Don't forward it. She particularly told her not to forward it, copy and paste it.
Absolutely. So no for that we're dealing with three phones. Now, the question is, why in the hell wasn't that other phone included in the discovery? What was in that other phone? You remember in the text message when she said, I told him you lost your phone. See, there was a changing of phone where then he started to talk to Jane Doe number 5 or text with her. But in the beginning, it was three phones involved. The phone that he was texting to the mother directly, and these two, Robert's phone and Jane Doe number 5 phone, that you guys are reading, right?
Right.
I'm going to say this and I got to go, brothers. Listen, there's another question I have. They charged him with enticement and basically the solicitation of a minor. Who was R. Kelly texting at the beginning? Was it a minor or a goddamn adult?
A grown woman.
Grown ass woman.
And what the mother tell him? What the mother tell the daughter right here on the string?
I'm sorry, brother. I can't. Go ahead.
She said you need. Hold on. This the one. Nah, this is the one where she was telling him you need to. He need to know your age. Hold on, just a second. I gotta find the one when she was telling her to audition for him. Wear her hair a little bit over her eye to shimmy, wiggle a little bit, whatever. She entice him. The mama told her to entice him. You know,
coerce.
This is what the mama said to her. I gotta go through. I'm gonna find it.
Absolutely. So that's all I wanted to say, brothers, is continue to do your work. Thank you, brother. All of you brothers that's analyzing this. In your mind, your role. Continue to analyze Robert's situation. Because sometimes it's the smallest details that can turn that time. You understand? It's the smallest details. So I just wanted to hop in real quick. Thank Brother Bad. I want to apologize to Brother Bad. About a month ago, you had asked me to host whatever, and I did not email you. I did not contact you back, but I would just ask that you charge it to my mind and my heart because I've been very busy, very busy. You understand?
I understand. And in that message, she told her to be prepared to sing 3 songs. He said he will meet you and listen to your song. Please have your glasses off, hair to the side. Mama knows best. Pretty hearts in third, your choice. Don't yell. Then she say, put on a show, dance, grab his hand, shimmy, wiggle, sit on his lap, entice him while singing it all about performing.
Yes. Also, I want to leave you guys with an assignment, if you would allow. Right now, I don't have my stuff with me, so I can't give the exact numbers. But contained within those text messages, there's a moment where Jane Doe number 5's boyfriend takes her phone, and in that phone, he says to Jane Doe number 5, I'm holding in my hand something that will change your life. Meaning whatever he saw in that phone between R. Kelly, the mother, and the daughter, the boyfriend said, what I'm holding, I'm paraphrasing, will change your life. In other words, you need to tell me what the fuck I'm looking at. Listen, they started to scramble. They went crazy. Where is he at with the phone? What did he see? Did he see the pictures? If you remember on Dale King, they said they were going to expose the naked pictures of me and Robert.
I'm going to ruin you. I'm going to ruin him.
There you go. And anyone who's listening to this, all I can say before I leave is please continue to dig into those text messages because they are the blueprint. They are the map to the treasure. So thank you, Vi. Thank you, brothers, for being. I listen to y'all all the time. I just be, listening, and I don't like to, come in a lot because I just want to come in and thank y'all for offering your analytical skills because that's what it's going to take. Analytical skills. You understand? To solve this whole thing. So thank you guys very much. Okay.
I appreciate
that.
Yes, sir.
Man,
Levi came in and went straight to a discrepancy right off the bat.
It made a lot of sense, man. But at the same time, man, I'm telling you, dog, she ain't even sing for that dude initially. He ain't even, she went backstage and sung for him. That was all bullshit.
Man, Jennifer is gonna have a fucking buffet with this.
Shout
She
out to
probably
Kels Buster
chomping at the bit. She probably licking her chops right now. Like you think this Bill Cosby shit was something else. Watch
What
what
up?
happened when they opened up them gates for R. Kelly. Had a
I
Me
mean,
Too
because she
movement.
clearly saw on the stand when asked was she aware of her parent, her mother texting the defendant, she said no. I
Yeah,
mean,
no. And that's why Ann Donnelly was about to hit her with some perjury.
then
But the
she goes
powers
on to say, what else she said? She said when she was asked about she kept saying, I didn't say that, the government said that. I didn't say that, the government said that. So what the fuck did you say?
right.
When she talked about being when they asked her, we got some feedback, boy, bad too.
Oh, let me mute up. Matter of fact, I'm about to pull up at the crib, so I'm gonna get myself together and then chime back in a little later.
Okay, we're gonna be here. We're
All
gonna
right.
be here to 9:30. So go ahead
Okay,
and get yourself together and hop back on, man.
okay, in a minute, folks.
So even when she was asked by Kenneth about preparation, the government prepped her, man, for for the weeks to come to the trial.
Mm-hmm.
Day in, day out. This shit is crazy, man.
Railroad at its finest.
And
Real.
for the government, man, it makes you look at it like, what the fuck was they thinking that they really thought they were gonna be able to pull this shit off and not have no pushback?
Man, they thought that, wouldn't nobody love that man enough to, or care about it, or care about the truth enough to fight for it. Because I care about the truth in this, man. It's some bullshit, man.
Yeah. I mean, we keep saying people got to look at how this shit set up the future. They really putting plays in effect to where you know for your son to be lied on and can't even defend himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people are missing, the bigger picture. And it's sad that, like Levi was saying, you got some individuals who just won't think for themselves. They just will not do it. They will not do it. They allow themselves to be swayed by society's narrative. And that's a dangerous space to be in.
Mm-mm.
So we're gonna go to this malicious conspiracy video from yesterday and listen at what's being said. Here we go.
We've got a lot to unpack today in RKelly's appeal, so buckle up. His lawyers are highlighting major issues with the government's case. And let me tell you, the government's case was a total mess from the get-go. They tried to pin RKelly as the leader of a criminal enterprise, but the only person they could name in the indictment was RKelly himself. If that doesn't scream shaky case, I don't know what does. First up, out of the gate, it was clear that the RICO prosecution against RKelly was suspect. The only person named in the indictment was RKelly himself. This raises the question: if the government lacks evidence to indict any other member of an alleged enterprise, is it a good sign that no RICO enterprise exists? Here's a head scratcher for you. In the RKelly trial, the government tried to paint him as both the leader of a criminal enterprise and the only person who conducted its affairs. It's like saying that a person can associate with themselves. It just doesn't make sense. The government couldn't even distinguish between RKelly and the enterprise, which is like saying one man can be a whole army. It's like saying one person can be the puppet and the puppet master at the same time. It just doesn't make sense. As it turns out, the government couldn't prove that RKelly was any different from the alleged enterprise, which is a clear violation of his rights. If they can't differentiate between the individual and the alleged enterprise, then how can they possibly prove that a criminal enterprise even exists? The fact that no other members of the so-called enterprise were named in the indictment is a red flag that the government's case was built on shaky grounds. Here's the real kicker. The appeal has exposed the government's sneaky tactic of charging RKelly with RICO as a way to bypass the statute of limitations. It's like they were admitting anything to the court just to keep...
They charged him with RICO to bypass the statute of limitation. Now, at this point, you should start to feel like the government should be put in prison. They should be charged. They should be charged for going against their own goddamn, for violating their own laws. This shit is crazy. And they knew they were doing wrong, but they just blatantly just this is what we witnessed in this trial was abuse of power. This was a clear abuse of power.
differentiate between the individual and the alleged enterprise, then how can they possibly prove that a criminal enterprise even exists? The fact that no other members of the so-called enterprise were named in the indictment is a red flag that the government's case was built on shaky grounds. Here's the real kicker. The appeal has exposed the government's sneaky tactic of charging RKelly with RICO as a way to bypass the statute of limitations. It's like they were admitting anything to the court just to keep the case alive. Turns out the prosecutors has been exposed for bringing up all sorts of uncharged bad acts in court, which means that people who weren't even part of the case were taking the stands to trash RKelly. Talk about...
Do y'all hear that? Bad acts. Bringing up bad acts in the court. Uncle Sir Miguel, man, what you think about that?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it puts a face on how. Forgive me, my rudeness, brother Mew, provoked off, Big Vibe.
What up, Sir
Appreciate y'all
Miguel?
having me on the panel. it puts a picture to us as citizens to show you that when it comes to the federal government, they will go through by any means necessary to get whatever they want to get you on, even if you ain't been charged. And it shows you that somebody can come in there and say anything that don't have nothing to do with the case. The jury gets a bad impression of you, so they're gonna run with it. And guess what? You in a trick bag, you found guilty, and half the people that came in don't have nothing to do with the case. And the people who have something to do with the case, they can lie, not get impeached on the stand for perjury. And guess what? You get 30 years based on predicate acts and all this other kind of shit.
Yeah, but if you take those people you put on the stand, you take every single person that was put on the stand in New York, take away the immunity, do they still testify?
No, not at all. Because at the end of the day, that not only does it shorten your witnesses, but it also lets the people know that your case is really weak at the end of the day. Because if you got to give all these people immunity to get one person that's supposed to be a RICO, but then you add the other stuff to make it a RICO based on the predicate acts, which were not really there, which are really misdemeanors, and you turn it to a fair case to become felony, you never had a case in the first place.
Facts. Because when you talk about RKelly, bro, the man didn't even have a criminal history. When we talk about not even having a criminal history, not a criminal record, nothing. So you don't even have previous convictions that you could even you could even base your argument off of. What allegations where the man showed up to court and stood trial, found not guilty. In the most, I really honestly, I want to see what the appellate court think of, especially the Chicago case, because this Chicago case was nothing but the same 2008 trial. It just was a RICO. What up, JoJo? What up, Reba? You bring some of the same. How do you even? I would love to see. We're gonna go back and revisit the appellate court video, the Supreme Court video. I would love to see those judges ask a prosecutor. Well, if this woman was impeached in 2008 and kicked out of the trial, how was she involved in this trial again in 2022? 23. You have to help me understand that. If she was lying then, what makes you think she gonna tell the truth now? But it's the overreach. But like the government, I guess the government feel like they young Jeezy. Don't nothing beat the cross but the double cross, huh? This type of shit, they did some of your homegirl best friend don't like your old girl homeboy type shit to charge this man. You know what I'm saying? They if you really look at what the government did, this some ghetto shit that they did, bro. You know how much, like when you look at it, bro, how far they overreach to bring these charges again. You had to violate, use laws that's been repealed. This shit, man, we live in a country of laws. And those laws are put in place for everybody. Even the government have to obey those laws. So what happens when the government breaks the law? Oh, they know, oh man, we fucked up. No. Now we, the people, we have to start looking into that aspect of holding the government accountable for breaking the law. This was a clear-cut case of abuse of power. This is why people shouldn't have this type of power over someone else's life. Because now what you see is, if it's not one of their children, if it's not their uncle, or if it's not their dad or their cousin, these are the extreme measures that they will go to, with the assistance of black people. I sat here as we continue to listen to this video, and you hear this person talks about how far the government reach. When you talk about, man, like, if a person committed a crime, you shouldn't have to do all this to prove that they did it. This shit should be cookie cutter, man. But you don't see that. You see that these people, they literally took the shovels out. Anytime you charge a motherfucker with a charge that's 100 years old, goddamn, this is the case law on this shit from 1902. Oh, hell no, man. I ain't buying it, yo.
Or just to keep the case alive. Turns out the prosecutors has been exposed for bringing up all sorts of uncharged bad acts in court, which means that people who weren't even part of the case were taking the stands to trash RKelly. Talk about low blows. It's like the government was trying to pile on as many accusations as possible, whether they were relevant to the case or not. And let's be real, having people testify against you who weren't even part of the case is pretty shady. The government's tactics were all just a way to make RKelly look bad in the eyes of the jury.
And ain't that what the Supreme Court said? When I get ready to play that video, when you got bad act witnesses giving testimony that this man is not even being charged for, you are inflaming the hearts of the jurors. Now the jurors can't choose what to base their decision off of, because they got 3 people that actually being charged for violating 3 people, but you got another 7 people that he not even being charged for, but their testimony is worse than the 3 people who he being charged for. So the 3 people who gave their testimony in the beginning, their testimony really don't even mean shit, because you got 7 other people behind them just trash this person. This is the type of shit that took place. And this is why we speak on, this is why we speak. This is why we have these discussions, because people don't understand the dynamic in what actually took place to convict this man, because they so comfortable, right? They are so comfortable with running with narratives, or they are so comfortable with running with the first thing they hear. Oh, that nigga RKelly got convicted, man. I told y'all, man, that nigga been messing with them little girls, man. That nigga been doing that shit like that, man. You remember Aaliyah? Like, come on, man. Y'all say he was doing it for 30 years. Aaliyah the only person you know? Man, what about the tape? Y'all said he was doing it for 30 years. What about the tape? That's the only thing you know? You telling me you talking about 2 crimes that the man has been found not guilty of? But you saying that, man, he had to be doing something. Oh, that's that flavor, right? That's a great value, nigga. He had to been doing something. See, everybody don't fuck with that generic shit, man. And that's why I don't fuck with generic niggas, man. Because they not gonna go, they don't want to pay the full price for that good shit. So they'll rather take that bad shit and run with it. Ain't happening. How you gonna tell me a man that committed a crime for 30 years? If I know somebody and they committed a crime, they committed crimes for 30 years, I should be able to bring up more than the same 2 goddamn talking points each and every time I'm having a discussion with somebody. You go in the barbershop, man, that nigga RKelly, man, he messing with what little girl, man, the girl from the tape. I mean, come on, man, y'all say he been doing it for 30 years? Or this is what y'all heard? Y'all heard he been doing it for 30 years. So it's okay for me to repeat some shit that I heard. But are any of these people who talked about what they heard, are they going to stand correct when when it's proven that this brother actually never did these things that they are accusing him of? How many of these people that we've heard trash and down this brother, convict this brother in their own eyes of public opinion, how many of these people, how many of those people that y'all think are going to come out and publicly apologize and say, you know what, I was wrong. You know what, the government lied. But they don't understand if the government lie on RKelly shit, the government gonna lie on Big Vi, they gonna lie on Muse, they can lie on Derek, they can lie on Sir Miguel, they can lie on my son, they can lie on my grandson, they can lie on my great grandson. I mean, this is what this type of shit create. It create a chain of events that trickles down from generations to generations to generation until somebody like myself and others have the courage to come out and speak up and say, we're not out here defending this brother because he RKelly. We defending this brother because we see the injustice that has taken place within this case. And that's the thing that people try to write you off, and people try to deflect from the conversation by saying, oh, y'all just out here on there because there's RKelly. No, it ain't because it's RKelly. Shit, for all his work, it could have been the goddamn man that's saying, how does it feel? Anybody. You know, if it's a public situation. See, the thing is with the reason why we advocate because it's RKelly, because guess what? I'm gonna tell y'all something. For all 88 of y'all that's listening in the chat, this shit that we're seeing that happen to RKelly, this has happened to numerous of men throughout this country that didn't have the notoriety as an RKelly. RKelly is the one who's gonna change the way that they look at these type of cases.
Fact.
RKelly is the case that's gonna open things up for them to go back and look at some of these other men with sexual abuse cases and allegations and things like that. And they go back and they see, well, then guess what? If they lie like that about RKelly, hold on, let's go look back at some of these other cases and look at some of the discrepancy. See, this is the one that they should have left alone, because this one case being overturned and proven that they violated all of these laws and this man's rights is going to cause a trickle-down effect where it's going to be hundreds of men who's going to be getting their cases overturned because of the government did the same shit to them, but they didn't have the notoriety of an RKelly. They couldn't afford a Jennifer Bunjean. So they just sitting in there innocent doing 10, 15, 20 years based off of the government just say you guilty.
That's facts, nephew. That's real talk. I concur.
So when we speak Now, we're not just speaking for Robert, we're speaking for the ones that didn't have a voice. And we say, hey, when y'all get Robert out of this shit, y'all need to go revisit some more of them sex cases where the man wasn't enticing, or the situation didn't happen the way that the girl said it happened. You know, because at the end of the day, we just can't be out here allowing these people to convict people just because they the government.
Weren't even part of the case is pretty shady. The government's tactics were all just a way to make R. Kelly look bad in the eyes of the jury. I mean, how is he supposed to defend himself against claims that aren't even part of the official charges? And having a bunch of people take the stand to trash him to the jury who aren't connected to the case just to make him look guilty. The appeal went on to expose the government for charging R. Kelly with a law that had been repealed. So they convicted Kelly under a
It's a repeal law, meaning verb. If the government repeals a law, it officially ends it. So that it is no longer valid. So how do you charge someone with a repealed law?
law that don't exist no more. First they got shaky RICO charges, now invalid health code charges. Seem they grasp to make anything stick. The California Public Health Code that the government contends R. Kelly violated was repealed by the California legislature and was inoperative at the time of his prosecution.
So there are more problems with the government creative charging approach. For one, the California Public Health Code that the government contends defendant violated California Health Code Safety Code 120290 was repealed by California legislators and was inappropriate at the time of defendant prosecution. Further, man, this shit's crazy, bro.
Are you telling me the government convicted him under a law that didn't even exist anymore? What an absolute mess. The actual health code the prosecution claimed he violated had already been gotten rid of by the time they charged him, and they still went through with the...
They say the repeal by the state stat 2017 CH 537 in parentheses SB 239 S6 EFF on 1/1/2018. So this health code had been repealed since it was, I guess it was brought up in 2017, then it was in effect in 2018.
Wow.
This shit is crazy, bro.
Wow,
This is crazy.
This some wicked stuff. Let's feel like I always been saying. Yeah. Yep.
What up, JoJo? What up, Hot? Man, I can't pronounce that, but I'm gonna call you Hot. What's going on, Hot?
Yes, nephew, we got to wake up as a community at large, man. We have to wake up and see what's really good. Yep.
Gotten rid of by the time they charged him? The prosecution anyways? R. Kelly didn't stand a chance with that kind of see you in jail determination working against him. Using a repealed law against R. Kelly is a clear violation of his constitutional rights. The government is supposed to follow the law and use only the laws that are...
And moving forward, we will start to learn what are our constitutional rights. We will be doing that over on this platform. We're going to figure out how we're going to get it in, but we're going to start learning our constitutional rights, because this is something that we have to start teaching our children, and anyone that we care about need to know this.
I agree, nephew. I agree 1,000%.
that are in force. The use of a repealed law against R. Kelly shows that the government was willing to use any means necessary to secure a conviction. This is a clear abuse of power. To make matters worse, RKelly is decidedly the only person who has been charged with violating these laws without actually infecting the alleged accusers with an infectious disease.
Never proven that these accusers had an infectious disease. Now, this is where I say, was this restitution for AKA Valtrex treatment, was this just a form of payment the government want to RKelly to pay, that they agreed to these accusers that they will receive for cooperation? I don't even call it medical treatment payment. This restitution was for cooperation, not none of this shit that they claimed it was for. I believe that the restitution was for their cooperation, because if you look at the only two that got restitution were the two that he was charged for. Why is it that, okay, well, only these two, y'all say he dealt with all of these women, and he been having this quote unquote whatever y'all claim he had since the 90s. Why wasn't every single woman given restitution for Valtrex? But only the star witness, and then this other female, only two of the females needed Valtrex. A lot of the shit that they did, when you think about it, like, hold on, this shit don't make sense, bro. I keep saying, this restitution wasn't for no goddamn medical expenses. This restitution was for their compensation for cooperating with the government. But the government don't want to pay it. They gonna make RKelly pay it. They want to make RKelly pay it.
Now that ain't what is.
So you want me to pay for a motherfucker testifying against me because y'all need them? Right.
That's
y'all want me to pay restitution for these motherfuckers cooperating for y'all to lock me up? Come on, man. Make this make sense. If y'all hadn't proved that these females was infected, this shit that need to be answered. Listen to this shit, man. This is all in the brief, in the appeal, though.
This is a clear abuse of power. To make matters worse, RKelly is decidedly the only person who has been charged with violating these laws without actually infecting the alleged accusers with an infectious disease. So he may not be the only person in history charged with violating the Federal Mann Act based on alleged minor violations of state health laws. But also he's the only one convicted without actually infecting anyone with a disease. That's wild. The fact they going so hard when he ain't even managed to spread no illness shows they was dead set on getting him. They saw an opportunity to make him.
Do you hear it? The man convicted of spreading an illness that has never been proven. They want this man to pay over $350,000, right at $400,000 in restitution to the women who claim to have been infected but had never been proven. That's why I keep saying, is this restitution for Valtrex, or is this fucking restitution a form of settlement for their cooperation?
Form of settlement, I believe.
Oh, we can promise. I promised it. Well, we go back to the phone call with Dr. Rice when the star witness was when they was talking about, hey, she, they was trying to give us some hush money or whatever, and she wanted the $500,000. What the government comes to? We can't get you $500,000, but what if we can get you close to it? We need for you to become a witness. Okay, well then guess what? If you become a witness, we can get you close to that 500,000. But this is how we're gonna have to write it up.
So nephew, gentlemen on the panel. So as a
Salute,
community,
JoJo. Thanks, man. Thanks, Unc.
so as a community, how do we move forward and be successful and heal and when our very own and our community is being used just willingly, just being a willing participant? How do we even? Where do we go? How do we be as a people, as your own counterparts, is in on this?
Well,
I mean, what do you do?
I feel like we move forward when this case is won.
I'm just talking.
When this case is won, when Jennifer win this case and it's overturned, we can take this case right here because this shit is going to become case law.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be.
We can take this and we can advocate using this to show how men get railroaded in this country. And not only we can prevent, so the type of advocating that we can do moving forward is preventative measures, right? We can start taking this shit, we can start taking this case around and presenting it to groups, going to the schools, speaking to young men, or going out speaking to young men, and we can take this case and everything that transpired, and we can put this into some type of template, right? And we can present this to show, like, when we talking to these kids and we just talking to them, they think we just shooting the shit, telling them about our past and telling them about shit that we done been through. They think, oh, y'all just some old niggas. Y'all know what y'all talking about. But we can show them, look, these people can do this. Y'all can be walking free today. And tomorrow these people can get y'all to pick y'all up and convict y'all and sentence y'all to 30 years in prison, and you could be innocent and had never done nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, they can't do that. Yes, they can. We finna show. I can show you how they can do it. You see how they went back and used repeal laws that wasn't even active anymore?
Nephew,
You see how they went around the statute of limitation by charging this man instead of they took state cases and turned them into federal cases to charge this man with RICO to get around the statute of limitation. You see the reach?
Yeah.
I yield back. Oh, go ahead. I heard you about to say something.
I ain't had nothing to say. I just was just saying I can't even get my thoughts around that concept. I just can't understand that. I'm like, wow.
To hear it. It's one thing to think that, but it's a totally different thing to hear this shit and actually see it and actually know that it actually happened.
And you would think, nephew, and we ain't the only culture now. So let me make that clear to anyone listening. We ain't the only culture that has passed a bad history of our people. But I just want to speak that, which I'm representing. All that we have experienced, as well as the other counterparts of our human family experience in history. And you would think we would have, it seemed like, wow, that's why I keep touching on that, and I yield back. The effect of that Willie Lynch and what it really did, I don't think people really understand the depths and the impact that it did on the psyche for generations. That your own family, you have to unlearn things that you learned from your own leaders in your family because of the effect that it did on them. And they just follow suit with that particular teaching, those very cliches and those sayings that they did. A lot of that stuff came from the plantation mindset because they were just trying to prove that they were just human and trying to just make it from moment to moment, forget day to day. You know what I mean? And it's like you look at now all the accomplishments. So it ain't nothing. You give me a Bentley, you give me a Maybach, you give me money all in the bank. You give me all this stuff, but then you got still control of my life because you can make a law and I can not only lose all of that, I can lose my existence. So what did all the material stuff and the status and the network of knowing somebody? What did all that do? If you still making these laws that can affect my whole generation, my whole family tree, my whole bloodline. You know what I mean? My whole legacy. You know what I'm saying? But they throw us that stuff. Now you creep quiet. Now you be a nice Negro now. You be a nice Negro. You know what I mean? What wow, nephew. Wow, wow.
And let me say something here. I think one of the caveats is too, there's other cases out here just like R. Kelly, even on the state level. You take, for example, a lot of these brothers that's being freed from prison, being falsely accused, and these cats been saying they've been innocent the whole time. Where you have either some rogue cop or some rogue prosecutor so gung ho on doing things the wrong way and slapping a brother for 20, 30 years. But then you have some states that say, well, oh, yeah, they did 30 years, but we're not going to compensate them. So they come out with nothing but scars and a bad memory of 30, 40 years they've been in prison.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Then, if you really think about it, who makes up the majority of the prison system? Our own people,
yeah. The black and brown race. Yeah.
right? But
Dr.
at the
Melody.
same time, you take, for example, and I've always asked this question, even when I was in junior high school, when it came down to voting. I said, if you notice when they put the stats up, it's always black and white. And I said, have you ever wondered
Yeah.
why Asians don't vote a lot in these political
Mm.
arenas? Because
Mm.
they take care of their own people and they
Yes,
take care of their own legacy.
yes,
They don't worry about what other races do.
yes,
They
yes.
sit back and watch what other races do so they can not only uh, be better than them, but they come to the table and when they have a plan together, they say we want this or we don't, or you're not gonna get this or you're not gonna get that.
Professor
See,
Sermon,
we
do you think is it true that they even down to their neighborhoods, if I'm not mistaken, don't they
mhm.
police their own neighborhoods as well?
Yes, sir.
Mm, wow.
Because
We used
the
to do
thing
that
of
back
it,
in the liberation movement. Didn't we used to do that?
we used to, but they don't teach that in history because you can take the I was just reading this a couple of weeks ago. It's a group, I think it was a group in the 60s doing the civil rights movement down in Louisiana where they was patrolling and protecting their own neighborhoods. See, when you think about the way history is written, they'll teach us that, oh, perfect example, Roots, for example, they made it seem like the slaves just laid down. I don't buy that story.
Right.
I know damn well, based on some of the literature I've read, these people fought. You understand what I'm saying? That same group that was patrolling their neighborhoods, they even fought against the Ku Klux Klan, but they try to reverse it and made it seem like these dudes just bowed down and let the Klan come in and destroy their neighborhood. That's not so true. They appear to make us like we're weak or something. We just laid down and didn't do nothing.
Right.
See,
Right.
it's one thing to create your legacy, but you don't lay down and let somebody else make your legacy to be different from what you see it or what you're trying to make it. At the end of the day, we have to do something different. And what I mean by different, we just can't accept things as face value and go, oh, blah, blah, blah. Perfect example. Why do most people vote Democrat? When
Mm,
the same political party during the 60s were the Democrats who were Ku Klux Klan that were politicians that was
mm,
stringing you up
mm,
on trees and shit.
mm,
And all they
mm.
did was, once the civil rights movement came into effect,
All they did was cross over to the Republican Party. That's
Right.
all they did.
Right.
But then
Yeah.
taking a step further back, in the 1860s, majority of black folks, melanated people, voted Republicans. What
Yeah.
changed?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was the ideology. So what you do, you go to the preacher.
Douglas was a Republican, right? Or something like that.
Yeah. So what they did was they got the preachers involved
Yeah.
to get you to change their mindset. Well, if you come over here, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that.
Wow.
But yet and still, both parties have division within each other, and everybody's trying to jockey for position when there's no real effort on behalf of the people that put you in office. But you're only basing your work ethic is based on your constituents, and that's the people who have money, because
Mm-hmm.
they'll cast out their own people who are poor.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different than the laws that they have in place. We don't
Yeah.
really sit at the table and create those laws. They created them.
I shared this with nephew in the text, but I didn't really give him what the thought was. But since you said that, I'm gonna say this: is when this thing was implemented in the mid '40s, mid '50s, the idea came about and they implemented this, and now it's everywhere in every community. Once they did this, I see the same mentality in society. And that's what I'm talking about is when they invented the microwave. That wasn't just about how to just warm some food up and real fast. That messed the fabric of society. So now even in relationships, walk with me, Miguel. I'm sorry, Professor, because I gave you your name, Professor Miguel. Um, Now, no one wants to work, you know what I mean, put in the necessary work. In other words, I'm talking about the process. People want instant gratification and results. And life just does not work like that. You know what I mean? People
Mm-hmm.
don't. It's been a time where you be out and playing. Mom say, "Go and get out this kitchen, out there playing." And you, mommy be cooking. Like, man, got the house smelling good. You just, man, your stomach can't wait, man. And she took her time. She put the love. Big mama put the love, and she made sure everything, every spoon. Well, you ain't have to worry about going to no restaurant later on to get no snack. You was not only full, but you was satisfied. Now we don't want that no more. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
we have health issues because we want things fast and quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And those elitists sees a market at that. Man, how can we control the minds of these people and just give them what they want in abundance? And you don't realize what they're doing to you. See what I'm saying, Miguel?
Mm-hmm.
But you will never connect it to the microwave. We have a
Right.
microwave mentality in our society, and it's a dangerous place to be in. I yield back to you, Professor. What you think about that?
And it's funny you said that, because it was about a year ago, I read an article about Silicon Valley
Yeah, I heard about that.
and the powers that be that created social media.
Okay.
And in that article, it said those people that help create social media, they don't even allow their children to be on social media.
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as I'm reading further on down the line, I said, damn, I said, okay.
Just
And then
teach us.
it says the CEOs and the VPs send their kids to this elite school up in Silicon Valley. There's no computers, there's no tablets, everything is hands on.
Wow. So you can
They're
really train
teaching their
your
they're
thinking. Woo. Mm,
okay. Now
mm.
you follow me where I'm going.
Okay.
They teaching them how to horticulture, agriculture, all this stuff using their hands. So the guy who was doing the article interviewed the person. He said, "Well, why are these people sending their kids to these places, to these
Right. Right.
schools where there's no computers?" And the guy said, "Well," he said, "we already knew that once we put something out there, it would get people attention. So
Huh.
they'll lose focus on
Uh,
doing things with their hands. So
uh,
when everything hit the fan in the
uh,
near future,
uh, uh,
our
uh.
kids will already be prepared to know how to survive.
Ooh. Uh, uh, uh.
And
Now, if that
I
ain't
said,
big,
damn.
if that ain't big pimping, I don't know what is.
I said, damn. So the dude said, so the interviewer was like, he said, interesting. He said, well, how do you know what's going to happen in the future? The man said, well, everything changes. Nothing stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, every country has to rebuild somewhere or another. How do you rebuild? You rebuild by hand. He said, everything is a facade to get you to think it's going to happen real fast. But if you don't know how to use your mind, you can't
Huh.
create anything. I
Mm-hmm.
said, shit.
Yeah. Now you see why I like that scene in South Central in the library with OG Bobby Johnson and Ali when he said, Ali, look at these things I never knew about. You know what I mean? He talks about you can chain my wrist and chain and my feet in shackles, but you cannot enslave my thinking.
Mhm.
It is free like the spacious sky. And he looked at Ali. Ali said, yeah, that's a little poem on altitude. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Man, that was I think people looked at the entertainment part of how it is, but I tend to do a little different thinking. I look for the dialogue and how I can connect that to my everyday life because entertainment is simply being detained so that something may enter you.
Mhm.
Entertainment in the true definition is being detained so that whatever you listen to, that entity in the spirit realm enters you. It alters your perception, it attacks your belief system, and it dictates your very behavior. So we have to watch what we take into our inner man. You catch that, Professor?
Mhm. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Because
And many of us don't, we just don't. That's why they had to take those conscious rappers off the map. They had to get rid of them, Miguel.
mhm.
They had to get rid
Mhm.
of the dynamics. Like me and J Rock be talking about that letter that changed the face of hip hop in the culture.
Mhm.
The direction they wanted to go so that the prison system will be a revolving door
Mhm.
and get more money for big wealthy investors. So we can keep these kids mind controlled by the music that they listen to. I mean, music is that powerful that it would do that to our culture. If it's the wrong type of music, wow,
But
it can
now
affect you like that.
keep this in mind. Notice how short the music is now, right?
Yeah,
Well, there was a study that was done that the average person will only sit for 4 minutes and 24 seconds.
wow. See that? See that? See that?
Okay, so now you take it, we have 91 people in the chat.
Okay.
This has been going on an hour and 45 minutes, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now you take that 4 minutes that captures someone's minds, and it's mostly young adults, teenagers, and children.
Right, right, right.
Okay. But for those of the people that's older that want to come to something with substance, they will sit and listen and watch because
Mm-hmm,
it's not only renewing their mind, but they're
mm-hmm.
capturing a bigger picture to
Come
see
on,
the short term and the long term for what
come on.
is now and what is to come. Whereas everybody else is only gravitating what's going to happen at that moment in that
Yeah,
that short span, and then they can't even recover to go on to do something else because their attention is paid to that 4 minutes and 24 seconds.
man, that's wow. That's powerful. That's powerful. You know what? Along with that, Miguel, what I learned researching and listening and studying, uh, person presented something, and I hope I can do it some justice. And they were talking about the effects of music and how you have to be careful because of the frequency, how we wire chemically, you know what I mean? Our biology, the science part of us, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
We have to watch them because anybody that creates their music, the heart of that person's belief system and their spirit follows their own music. You do know that, right?
Hmm.
And so listen to this statement that was said. Music is the only thing that can go into the mind of a man or a woman, disturb their very conscience without their consent.
Hmm.
See,
Hmm.
that's why the certain hip hop, the way it's structured, is dangerous because I've got them three elements. What's one that helped me, Miguel? It's the rhythm, it's the melody, and I forgot to the third one.
Rhythm, melody, and
You follow me? I forgot the order is the one, two, three. But in hip hop, if you study it real good, as opposed to like jazz or what I mean, some of the stuff back in the day, like Johnny Hathaway, something like that, it's altered, meaning that before you can dissect or decipher the meaning and the lyrics, it go past your gateway, your frontal lobe. It passes your doorkeeper, where your
hmm.
re- where your reasoning and your say, that's wrong. I don't want that. That's next. I don't. When it bypasses your reasoning, is shut off like that. That's dangerous because that very heart of that spirit of music goes inside of you and it alters your very behavior without your consent. We know commercials, tunes, not so much because we like the commercial, anything we so into it. It's because they put music to it. They put music to it.
Hmm.
A lot of us grew up, and a lot of us ain't shame, and some of the same they'll laugh and say, "You don't know your ABC. You just know the melody to the music they put with it to help you learn your ABC."
Right,
That's keeping the
right.
band. That's keeping the band. To my point, I yield back to you. What you think of that?
No, it's the truth, man. Because if you think
Jay,
about this,
just
the
focus.
the the most powerful angel in heaven
Come on,
was God's right hand man.
come on now.
He was the architect. He was the minister of music. He was the head honcho to the choir. Had the most beautiful voice in all of heaven.
To see all four parts at one time.
Right,
Ezekiel talking about
but
his
it,
pipes perfect.
yeah, but you said this a while ago. When he got kicked out, God didn't take his talents from him.
Nope, nope. He still
He
kept it.
didn't take his gift. He still kept him.
He's still a musician. He's still
He's still a
music.
musician. Right.
So when I'm saying
So,
when I that statement, J Rock, to set you up to come in, J Rock, is that the enemy found a way to use musical drugs
mhm,
to get away with all of his murder, his deception, and how he gets them get away from the heart of God and help us get caught up in surrendering our will over to him without even understanding it, alter our own family tree, mess us all up. He found a way to get that and keep his hands clean by using musical drugs.
mhm,
What's going on with
mhm.
you?
What's up, J Rock?
What's going on, Sir Miguel? What up, Muse? And what up, Big Vi?
I mean, man, what's on your mind, J Rock? I spoke you up.
Well, what's on my mind? First off, I don't know why these people continue to try to play with our intelligence, play with my intelligence out here, because even though I wasn't on or in the chat, I was cooking, fixing me a little something to eat, but I was still listening at the same time. I caught one
when Levi came on through, and when you guys played the video from Malicious Conspiracy, which I saw. Plus, I think Malicious Conspiracy had another video that came out a little bit earlier today. I've had a chance to look at that one yet, but I'm definitely gonna check that one out when I get out when I get off here. But when I did the breakdown, especially with the text messages, when she said, "Well, me and she said that Adriana's mother that she never talked to her mother," and that was a blatant contradiction.
Right.
Was sitting
Yeah.
right in the text message.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I'm like, so I heard that, and I was like, I know I didn't hear what I thought I heard. And then when it went back and went over it again, I was like, these people here, I don't know what the rest of these riding in the back of the short bus ass people think they're trying to pull. But me, I can tell you right now. See, a lot of these people out here, some of them don't already like me as is, so that's cool with me. I'm just gonna treat them like Jimmy Butler treated Grant Williams.
You gonna do that? You gonna do that, J Rock?
Yep.
Hey man, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Hey, Chicago, Jimmy Butler going to the NBA Finals. Yeah, buddy.
And man, I mean, look, they've been
first time in NBA history for the Nuggets organization, or am I off base by that, J Rock?
I think somebody said one other time, but it was like in the but back in the days of the ABA.
Okay.
But you know, they kind of But as far as NBA, yeah. But
yeah, I want Jim to go all the way. You know, thanks to Jim Butler made it, and he earned that. The rest of his teammates, but yeah, that'd be good for the for the players, man. For that, you know, being part of that.
But I tell you what, I mean, when I went over that, especially the part about the text messages, I kept going back over and over again in my head. Anyway, I was like, look,
I missed that J Rock when Levi pointed that out. I'm like, yeah, she did say that on the stand. It's in the transcripts. Mm-hmm. She did say that. Wow. And the judge saw that. I mean, they had to stop. Wow, man.
The prosecutor had all of this information, and they knew it.
Wow.
And see, the funny part about it is like what Vi said earlier, talking about, I didn't say that. The government said that. Right. I didn't say that. The government said it. She said that multiple times. So you just gonna, you the judge, the court, y'all just gonna blatantly just gloss over that like ain't nothing happened.
Right. That part. Unbelievable.
A lot of that shit, man. She was bouncing back and forth for. We got about 49 seconds of this. First, this from Malicious Conspiracy yesterday, where she's talking about, you know, as far as them never proving, you know, that this man gave these girls any type of venereal disease, but they were awarded restitution.
That's the other part right there. That's the other part right there, because they kept mentioning that. And then what did our good friend face mother they're talking about? Well, she didn't have herpes, but he tried to give it to her.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. How you try to give somebody something? It's either you did or you fucking didn't.
Yeah, make that make sense. In the words of Prima Donna. Shout out to Prima Donna. Man. Yeah.
Get that shit out the way, man.
Make it make sense. It's an insult to our intelligence, man, to our dignity. You know what I mean? It's an insult. It's a blatantly disrespect. You know what I mean? And I don't see how we can't see the seriousness in that and how dangerous that is in this country. I don't see why we don't get that. And we allow ourselves to be so easily swayed if we won't take the necessary efforts to educate our own selves so that we can be an example for our children and those that look up to us, that we mentor and that we, they're supposed to be covering. I don't see how we don't think that because it's gonna. As I always said, and I yield back to y'all, a storm is always coming. However that look like in your experience, in your journey, in your thing called life, everybody experience it. Worst case scenario always happens. So that's why I talk about that little example and that particular armed forces and that boot camp they put them in pre-boot camp or in boot camp before they even start doing anything else to these two. What they treat them two things was to how to respond when you have a jammed gun and how to carry a dead body. Because those are the two worst case scenarios. Because people's minds freeze up. You can't even think. You're not thinking. You get out there and you're in the midst of the war that your gun is going to jam. And you got to look at that like in life. Worst case scenario, are you really ready? What would you do? If you get an opportunity to go to the next level to establish a generational wealth and a legacy for your family, are you prepared mentally? Do you have the stamina? Do you have the level of maturity? Do you have the emotional intelligence to navigate through whatever it is that you have to, steps you have to take? We don't do that. Just give me everything and then no. If you stay ready, you never have to get ready. I yield back.
Y'all heard Uncle. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. We at 9:30, but I still got the end of this clip, and then I'm gonna play the next clip. So we probably about 9:45, about another 15 minutes before we get up out of here. But I do want to say shout out to everybody that's been over here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Shout out to Levi for coming through, J Rock, Sir Miguel, Derek. I mean, Derek was here for a little bit.
Yeah,
We gonna Jeff also came through as well. So we gonna get through this one right here, and then we gonna move forward.
The only one convicted without actually infecting anyone with a disease. That's wild. The fact they going so hard when he ain't even managed to spread no illness shows they was dead set on getting him. They saw an opportunity to make an example and ran with it. I know it goes against all common sense to convict somebody of a health violation when the accusers ain't catch nothing at all. But they saw him famous and Me Too movement enemy #1 and said, "This one's going down. Evidence be damned, the straight up injustice." This is a clear indication that the prosecutors were more interested in securing a conviction than finding the truth. It's shocking that the prosecutors not only enhanced charges against RKelly from a misdemeanor offense to a federal offense, which is unheard of, but also all while knowing that he didn't even infect the accusers with an infectious disease.
So all while knowing that he didn't infect the accusers with the infectious disease, again, I asked the question, what was the restitution for Valtrex for? Was it for Valtrex or was it a form of compensation for cooperation? That's a question I got for the government.
Was Valtrex code for something else? Valtrex, and you drop the R, could be Valtax.
This was a form of compensation. They promised these accusers that they would get a certain X amount of dollars for their participation. You know, if he's found guilty, you can get up to this amount. It was a fucking sweepstakes, man. The RKelly giveaway. How you taking vowel tracks for something that you haven't been proven to have?
Let's see. You draw up STDs that say he got, which obviously, if he had STD and he slept with all these other women on Surviving R. Kelly, why nobody else came up with the same doggone herpes simplex? Nobody else got it. Hell, his ex-wife been with him for God knows how long. She ain't mentioned nothing about her getting it. But yet all of a sudden he's supposed to be passing out herpes like it's Halloween candy, right? Just make up all kind of stories and then just throw stuff out there and people just run with it.
You know, but the thing about it is, it's like we keep going back to the abuse of power. Now we're gonna go to this video, which I love to watch this video, where the Supreme Court is gonna talk about the uncharged acts, you know, bad act witnesses, a defendant, you know, a history, you know, is going to remind this prosecutor, like, you can only charge a person for you should be able to prove your case with the people that you are charging this defendant with, not all these extra people that you feel like, oh, I want to put fire, what she said, inflame the hearts of the jurors. So let's get through this video, then we gonna chop it up a little bit, and then we're gonna get out of here by 9:45.
Among our major arguments have been the fact that there were multiple prosecution witnesses who gave inconsistent statements that kept changing, and that some of these clearly had no case against the R&B king, but were nevertheless brought to trial. Their purpose was to further depict R. Kelly as the predator that was alleged to be. Another major concern was that R. Kelly's trial was completely prejudicial, and the judgment was made along assumptions that R. Kelly was a bad person, with no substantial evidence to prove a case against him. In this particular case, the Supreme Court jurors are completely unhappy to note that a judgment was made along similar prejudicial lines, making us confident that the Supreme Court will find it easy to rule out the current judgment. Once this has been overturned, R. Kelly will surely be a free man again. Take a look.
The rationale for introducing the testimony of the three uncharged victims.
The testimony of Young, Dunning, and Wolf, as Justice Burke found, was directly probative of defendant's state of mind.
Why wasn't that accomplished with the three women who were complainants? I mean, that for me is the problem. You already have three women who give you three different types of stories of the horrors they experienced with him. I think you've covered that. So to pile on with three uncharged complainants, three uncharged victims, is leaning really close to that propensity line.
It was relevant to defendant's intent. As Your Honor pointed out, intent was hotly contested below.
I don't understand how that wasn't established through man. Because he had a 5-year relationship with him after the assault.
Because Mann's allegations were not so unambiguous that there would have been no doubt in a juror's mind that defendant intended the forcible element of the first-degree rape. Again, when Justice Burke...
You're saying that you wanted to prove what he did with Mann by introducing the testimony of those other three women.
No, certainly not. Mann's allegations would have established, if believed, would have established the elements of the offense.
Where the women were of the uncharged crimes were not the victims for which were being prosecuted, though. Where was the balancing that's supposed to go on in Molyneux? This was incredibly prejudicial testimony, no?
Well, no, respectfully, Your Honor, it wasn't prejudicial for two reasons. One, the court gave extensive limiting instructions. 3 times the court explained to the jury...
The fact that there's instructions doesn't mean it's not prejudicial.
But here we know
I'm
it
being
wasn't.
charged with 3 rapes. And here come 3 other women who claim I did the same thing to them, but I'm not being charged with that. That's prejudicial.
Well, it's not prejudicial.
So the question is, does that prejudice, is that outweighed by some probative value that supersedes that?
Respectfully, Your Honor, it wasn't prejudicial here, and we know that.
Opposing counsel referred to the Molyneux rulings in this case as unprecedented. What cases do you rely on under New York law that actually constitute precedent for the court's rulings in this case on the Molyneux issues?
Well, parsing the Molyneux evidence, no one would quibble with the admissibility of the uncharged offenses as to man. Ample case law, which we...
I'm talking about the other 3 women.
Right. As to Young, Dunning, and Wolf, again, I think Vargas is a perfect illustration of precisely why we were permitted to put forth the evidence here. It's well understood that Molyneux evidence can shed light on a defendant's state of mind and intent.
So you're really arguing that this was not overkill? I mean, there were certain items in the Sandoval that I thought, okay, that's fair game. If you, after being fired, ask an employee at the company to take computers and delete stuff, that's fair game. But some of this other stuff, let's inflame the jury's heart by telling them that he beat up his brother during a meeting. I don't see how there is a balance there on that.
Well, threatening behavior, again, goes directly to demonstrating his ability to put his own self-interest at the expense of others, and that goes to the heart of honesty and integrity. The fact that there were many of these acts only indicated how defendant chose to live his life.
Yes, and counsel, you know what? There are trials every day where we have defendants who have a rap sheet a mile long. A mile long. They'll have 20 felony convictions on their rap sheet. And I see no judge say, go ahead, go to town on all of them, because they don't let you go into the facts. They usually just let 1 or 2 in. I mean, there is a balance.
But looking at what was let in relation to its impact on whether the jury could otherwise decide the case, not based on the fact that this is just a horrible person. That's really the balance, not what was let out.
That's correct, and perhaps if this involved a case that had 100 or 150 allegations, it would present a different scenario.
38 non-convicted, and they're not convictions, not one of them, acts. That's balance?
Well, as you point out, the fact that they're not convictions, that they're just bad acts, if anything, makes them less prejudicial. But the fact that there were so many is only indicative of how defendants...
When I woke up in the
You hear us say 30 non-convicted acts. That's what you call bad acts. Anything that's brought up in a trial that the defendant is anyone bringing up things in the trial that the defendant is not being charged for is considered bad act. How many countless of bad act witnesses did they parade in the New York trial?
I'll tell you what, if you think the appellate court had a field day with that, wait till they get a hold of this.
Man, you talking about 7 people? 7 people that he was being charged for, 7 women they were charging him for. But over 50 people testified, gave testimony. You talk about bad act. What the fuck do you call that?
And you ain't heard from none of them other people after that trial either.
No, they didn't took the high road.
No, they didn't win zero dark 30 is what they did.
Then you sit here and look at this shit like, hold on, man. But it's indicative to how the defendant lived his life. No, it doesn't. The man is not on trial for how he lived his life. He's on trial for the crimes y'all said he committed. But one of the women y'all claim he abused, he went on to have a 5-year relationship with this woman after the allegations of her claiming he abused her. So you got another problem.
Yep.
She say, and just because the defendant has a rap sheet a mile long, doesn't mean you can go to town on it. You might can bring in one or two of those things, but that's pushing it. You should be able to prove your case with the women, with the people that the defendant is being charged with. And she always indicative to, man, them people tell her ass, we don't want to hear what you saying.
No, it's only indicative because it placates into the narrative that they've been wanting to spin
The entire time. It has always been about a narrative the entire time with the government. You know, and then how do y'all number one person, Kim Fox, who initiated the entire proceeding, you know, she come out and dropped the charges after the fact. Come out and drop the charges after the fact. That's even more so. That's even worse. So everything that we done seen and witnessed throughout this trial, throughout this case, bro, man, it ain't nothing but one victim in this whole thing, and that victim is RKelly, man.
Yep, that's pretty much it. I mean, when you go back and attempt to have him convicted or actually charge him based on a law that was repealed, which means the law was no longer in existence, just to like you said, bypass the statute of limitations by throwing in the RICO because you know it wasn't gonna stick. So now they use a RICO as a common practice to go around other charges to try to convict someone for something because you just itching for a conviction.
And don't leave out the main thing, right? In the state case, in a state, you will have to present. In a state, you will have to present evidence, right? In federal, hearsay, right?
Right, which is why Kim Fox, I said it before and I say it again, Kim Fox dropped those state charges because she knew that trial would very well be televised. All the evidence and all the BS that they didn't pull is going to be put on full display for everybody to see. And she didn't want to take the chance of her and her office to look bad and really draw even more questions and more suspicions as to why this whole thing happened in the first place.
Well, not only that, J-Rock, she really wouldn't have had no case because remember, it was all about the obstruction.
Man, hold on, man. Hold the fuck on. Hold the fuck on. Is that Tyson chicken we see in the chat?
Oh, shit.
Oh, hell no. Well, I'll be damned.
Oh, shit. Chicken man.
Chicken man.
The chairman of the UFC has just stepped in the building. Mr. Don Wing himself. Damn.
It's up there, Q. What up, Progress? Go ahead, Sir Miguel.
Well, see, think about this too. The obstruction of justice wouldn't even flew because he won on the federal, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, not only, like you said, it was going to be televised, number one. Number two, the obstruction of justice, they really couldn't bring nothing to that because there was nothing there. Number three, they spent so much goddamn money trying to do all of this shit, they didn't really have enough money to even go forward it anyway. Number four, your witnesses was going to start tripping anyway, especially Geronda Pace. Number five, they would have got shitted on real hard if they had took that stand.
Cut your camera on, Q.
Yeah, that sounds about. Yeah, that sounds like the size of it.
What up, brother Q?
Greetings, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
What's
What's up,
going
brother Q? How
on,
are
brother?
you?
Brother Q, what's
Thanks
going
for
on with you?
the super chat as well.
No problem, man. I was laughing at that redress of the justice to the attorney. One thing in particular that many of you guys overlooked, and when you go back and review that, the judge asked her for one particular thing that should have been used to justify their application of law, which is what case law do you have that support the use of these bad act witnesses? Did y'all hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I think
And,
I did too.
and she completely walked around it. There's no case law.
Hmm.
Normally, whenever you do an appeal, be mindful that appeals were my thing. So whenever you do appeal, you have to show the court either if you're appealing within a lower court and you're moving to a higher court, you have to show in that document where a higher court has ruled on this particular type of case. So you're basically telling the court, hey, it doesn't make any sense for me to appeal this, or for you to allow me to appeal it, because a higher court has already ruled on it. So here's the case law that supports why you know this should be ruled in my favor. So upon appeal, in that particular court that you just listened to, the woman asked her for the case law, and she had none.
Hmm.
She had no legal remedy. She had no resolution. It was just a bunch of bullshit.
Right. It was just indicative to how the defendant lived his life.
Right, and if you go back and if you're able to listen to infamous Sylvia, we talked about this a long time ago, and I told her that this would be a very slow ball rolling, but it will eventually come down to, once it gets to the higher courts, it's going to come down to a state of mind, offense of defense or defense. It's the same thing with Donald Trump. I think we've covered this already. You have to prove his state of mind at that particular time. When Donald Trump gave his attorney that money and he wrote it off as a legal expense, where the attorney used it to pay off a hooker, right? Well,
Right.
the court has to prove that in Donald Trump's mind, he didn't intend to give him that for a legal expense. He meant to give it to them for the hooker. But now the state has to prove that this is what Donald Trump was thinking. You follow me? So that's when it
Hmm.
comes down to the state of mind. I understand why they piled on all of the charges. It's called modus operandi. It's your mode of operation. It's a very widely used legal term. They're trying to prove that this is the way that he thinks. However, I kind of side with the justice, which is it was overbearing from bad acts. Mesothelioma is one of the best examples that we can use. They put on these commercials, and you got people that have mesothelioma has something to do with breathing, but someone who has a foot ache is still going to call in and claim that they got mesothelioma.
Right.
Hmm.
So same thing with Kim Fox with her fuckery with putting up this bad call for women who have been supposedly offended. Big V, you've heard me say this before. It's called victim Olympics. Everyone wants to say that they were hurt more than the other person, and in more cases than any, they'll exaggerate. Why? Because the person who was offended the most gets the most limelight.
That sounds about right, especially since everybody was trying to vie for that for their camera time on Surviving R. Kelly, and even outside of Surviving R. Kelly, getting all the different interviews with different radio stations, and even on other television platforms. And
Brother, there's a person within the R. Kelly case. I'm not going to name any names, but you'll be able to look. You'll be able to come to a general conclusion. This woman was a nobody before the situation. Now she's making regular guest appearances at Essence Festival. She has book deals. She flies around the world speaking to self-help groups or victim advocacy groups. But she's not going to tell anybody that even her own daughter said that she was there for the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we kind of know who that is.
Yeah, we know who that is.
Wow.
So, as I said before, I'm willing to bet that if it hasn't reached $1 billion, it's coming. There has been at least $1 billion in profit generated in this R. Kelly saga since its inception, and that money has been spread out to different people, even from people who are no longer affiliated with R. Kelly. The guy who was in jail with R. Kelly, although his intentions are good, you can't tell me he's not making any money from any of his interviews that he's done regarding R. Kelly.
Right.
I think his intentions are good, but you can't tell me that someone hasn't called him and said, "Hey, man, we want you on our show. We'll pay you $10,000." There's a lot of money being made off of this.
Right. I said something the other day when we was on here pertaining to say what if all of this shit was orchestrated to go the way that it's going, and with the record label knowing that they have to come off of those masters that they could generate enough money to, if they give them up, shit, they still don't lose.
You're right.
And the funny part, Vi, when you brought that up, I was thinking about that. I was thinking that not only were you right about what you were saying, I'm kind of on the same wavelength you are, but at the same time, if they do all this and go through all of this extravagance and go so much and being so elaborate with all this, that they try to destroy his reputation to the extent that even if they turn his masters over to him, that they hope that his reputation is so shot that they won't even that nobody was even going to mess with him, even with his music, even if he happens to get his masters back.
Nah, believe it or not, Jerry Lee Lewis was probably one of the most infamous people in the country because he married and impregnated his own cousin.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, they stopped booking him for shows. But guess what? His masters were still at that time worth more than at that time Elvis Presley's masters.
Mm.
And he's still a rock and roll icon.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, believe it or not, the more infamous you are, the more your masters are worth.
Yeah, what's the number one thing that they always say when it comes to entertainment? There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. They just wanted to get something out. They just wanted to get something out the deal. We ain't gonna give up something for nothing. We can get something out of the deal. All right. Like you say, in 2013, the one when they talked about the new wave coming where after 25 years automatically the artists will regain their masters back. So now it's a strategic, they got a strategic plan that they sit back, like I say, man, these people sit back, they got the money to sit back and study, how to continue to get over,
Yeah,
correct.
They knew about it because during that time frame, like I said, between 1978 to 2013, there's a 35-year time frame. So the labels had all that time to do anything they want to with that music. And then when the singers and the songwriters wind up getting those the rights to that music back around 2013, which I always tell people all the time. Michael Jackson died 2009. Whitney Houston died 2012. Both of them died before that law was supposed to take effect in 2013. I don't believe in coincidences, but that don't sound like no coincidence to me.
But man, it's a very fun process to watch, because what is happening is they're piece by piece, they are undressing a well-dressed lie. Okay.
Right.
Uh, there's an allegory that's been floating around. The truth and the lie went swimming, and the lie told truth. See how far can you go down in the water, and see how long you can stay down there. Well, while the truth was down there, the lie picked up his clothes and ran. Now, this was during the time where you were known by what you wear. That's where the military, you're known by the stripes that you have. Well, this was during that time. And so when the truth was down underneath the water, the lie took his clothes and ran. Well, as he's running through the village, they say, well, there's the lie, but he has on truth clothes. Well, here comes the naked truth. And as the truth began to catch up with the lie, he began to undress the lie. So it does. So the point that I'm making is that this fuckery could go on, but eventually the lie will become undressed, right? Hello?
Yeah,
That's exactly what's going on right now. And that's what we as people have to take heed to. Like earlier they said, you tell one lie, you gotta think of another lie. So no one is above the lie. You know what I'm saying? Like they say, no one is above the law, no one is above the lie. So if you tell one lie, you gotta have to come up with more lies. Like you say, you get on the stand testifying, you tell one lie, even if you told 99% of the truth, that 1% that you lie can erase that whole 99% truth that you told.
I'm surprised, but I think it's going to come. I'm very surprised that Kim Fox has not been accused of prosecutorial misconduct. I think
you see that her and Lori Lightfoot been battling. Lori Lightfoot been calling her out about her bullshit because of all the overturned convictions that has been happening within her office, and she got mad because Lori Lightfoot went public about it.
The only other jurisdiction that Chicago has a more overturn ratio is New Orleans, and Chicago is bad, but New Orleans is just as bad. So, but yeah, it's interesting to watch, and I think I've shared with you before. I'm not a big R. Kelly fan. I'm not. I never have been. But just because I'm not a fan of his doesn't mean that I'm on the bandwagon for fucking over.
Right.
So I think a process needs to be fair. It doesn't matter who it is.
Right. That's what the people in the world need to understand. If you sit back and let some type of travesty go on like this and not have nothing to say, it don't stop. It continues to go on.
Yeah, being silent about an injustice is supporting injustice.
Is it same shit they say to the cops, right? Even when we look back at the George Floyd, right? Those other cops that stood back, guess what? Even though they may not, the one cop that stood there, he didn't touch him at all, but you stood there.
Yeah. So, but hey, man, it's always good, man.
Brother Q, before you go, let me ask you one question.
Go ahead.
What do you think about the whole situation in C. Murder's case in New Orleans?
In my own opinion, there have been many cases, especially in Louisiana. A lot of these cases have been rape cases where someone was convicted of a crime that they knew that they had no part in, but they chose to not point the finger to the person who actually committed the crime. There's, oh my God, man, I couldn't, there's a long list of cases I can name. In the situation of murder, there are people that C. Murder could implicate in that crime that he's opting out of doing so, and as a result of it, they're going to take his ass down until he decides to say something. If you and I are being are driving in a car, and they find a bag of marijuana under the back seat of that car. If I say that it's not mine and you say it's not yours, who are they going to take to jail?
Both of them.
Both of you. Okay. And until someone fesses up for it, the meter is going to point more to the person who owns the car, even though it may be the person who was actually riding in the car.
Right.
You follow? So I know that and here's to add more to that that theory. Master P told C. Murder to stop supporting these friends or stop, get yourself out of jail. You can't speak for others. Remember, they just when they fell out and he said he's not a walking ATM. He went out to C. Murder about that then, expressing that to C. Murder that he needs to go ahead and tell the people the truth. Instead of trying to defend the fact that he didn't do it, go ahead and tell who did do it. So, C. Murder got his case in front of, by far, the worst and most racist judge in the history of the South. Her name is Judge Martha Sasson. Please research her. She has locked me up more times than I care to count for contempt.
How do you spell her last name?
Sasonne.
Sound like the same thing that happened to No Limit Mac.
Well, Mac the Camouflage Assassin, pretty much the same thing, but his trial was held in St. Tammany. I knew the attorney that handled his preliminaries. But Martha Sasson was, bro. She was the devil. She was a devil himself.
Wow.
She was horrible. It was a running joke in the halls of Jefferson Parish court system that anybody stood a chance of going to jail. This woman literally locked up an entire family.
Wow.
Everyone in an entire family that came to court. Yeah, she was nuts. But that is who C. Murder conviction was called.
That shit, it's sad. I'm from Louisiana, but I'm from the northeast part, and I see it happen. I'm from like the Monroe area.
Monroe, Washita Parish. Correct.
Yeah, I see it happen all the time. Guys go to jail for. I mean, most of these guys go to jail just because they can't afford a representation.
Correct. But
they be innocent and can't afford it. Then they'll make you sit. Some of these guys be sitting down in there for a year, 2 years before they can even go to trial or go to court for a hearing and get to court. They decide in 2 years. By the time they get their time, they be leaving court and getting out of jail.
Man, let me tell you something. There were some cases that there were just some attorneys that just wouldn't take a case that was over in Jefferson Parish. Jefferson Parish had this process called Code 6. All right. As a matter of fact, there was a rapper by the name of Code 6. And it was the most illegal thing within the judicial system you could ever think of. Code 6 was, it meant vertical prosecution. That means that they were prosecuting you, that your process was happening faster than the average process. So they had a Code 6 team, Code 6 team on the police department. They had Code 6 prosecutors, and they had Code 6 judges. Martha Sasson was one of them. It was Martha Sasson. It was Lee Green, It was Melvin Zeno. It was one more. Frederica Humberg Wicker. All right. I remember these evil motherfuckers. Like, and actually, Melvin Zeno was a black guy, but nevertheless, they were inclined, because they were Code 6 judges, to give the harshest punishments. Okay. Now, where it became illegal, it interfered with due process. Whenever you become a criminal defendant, you go through an allotment system, and the allotment system chooses what court system you will go into. So if you have 12 judges, your name is you have to have access to all 12 judges. If you have access to just 3 of them because they are special judges that are prone to giving the harshest offenses, then that violates your due process. And there was only one person that had the balls to challenge that process. His name was Douglas Jones. He passed away, but he was the one that made them quit that Code 6 prosecution bullshit.
What's going on, everybody? I didn't mean to cut you off, man. But I just want to speak to everybody. Can y'all hear me?
What's up, Progress?
Progress, what's up?
Yeah.
What's good?
I studied. I had got onto a case down there, the Vincent Simmons case, man. I had got onto that case, and that's another case where they messed this dude over so bad, bro. The dude did 44 years in Angola, and the man had the medical records and everything to show that these girls they alleged he raped, that he never even touched. They confessed. One of them confessed that she was sexually active with one of her cousins, and the other girl just was never even. One of the girls just never even was touched. And the justice system just got his lawyer named Justin Bonus. He's one of those lawyers that get.
Well, I be damned.
Get the conviction overturned. Took his case.
Yeah, with the Innocence Project.
The Innocence Project. Yeah, Justin Bonus with the Innocence Project. And the man get out of prison. They interview these twin sisters. They still living. And these motherfuckers sit there on camera in the court and say, well, at least we got 44 years out of them.
What?
I'm not surprised, bro.
That's crazy. Like, I mean, cut y'all. Like Q was saying though, like if you get a charge like that or something like that, if you can't make bond, or if you ain't got a hired lawyer, you stuck there, man. It might be 3 years before you go to court.
Yeah, brother.
3 years. By time you go to court, damn, you did have that bit all your time.
I know for sure, like that up where I'm from, man, up in the northeast part of Louisiana, you have people waiting to go to trial and waiting to go to court, waiting to get a court date. And by the time they get a court date, they didn't have Mystical. Mystical came down through my hometown. NBA Youngboy, a lot of people, a couple of people from down that way came up through my hometown.
Where?
In Louisiana.
But my thing is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I had a classmate recently, earlier this year. I guess he got, I don't know how his time went, but he got shipped from northeast Louisiana. They shipped him down somewhere, New Orleans, down south or whatever. He wasn't even in there, 30 minutes, and guys put the knife on him, sent him back home in the box.
Yeah, that sounds like something in Orleans Parish Prison. Orleans Parish Prison is probably the worst prison in the state, in the South period, worse than Angola. But hey, man, it's unfortunate. But if I had to request anything for you guys to do, is always stay versed on what the laws are in your particular state or jurisdiction. Fortunately, that many of us don't become familiar with general law until we're caught up into that system.
Right.
So
And that's one of the directions I also I was speaking to the guys earlier saying we gotta educate ourselves on different things. So, we look forward on the platform going forward to trying to educate ourselves with this system that we're dealing with because the system is not gonna go nowhere.
Nope.
So only thing we can do is educate ourselves as best we can to be able to understand what it is that we're going through. Like you say, if you in the system, it's too late to try to learn it.
But you do have some people
That
that
do.
that benefit from learning on the opposite side, like Wilbur Rito, the only person in the history of the state of Louisiana that committed a first-degree murder by killing multiple people. He managed to get himself out of jail and managed to overturn his conviction. He ended up moving to Canada, and he was found guilty in Cameron Parish. But we still have to take the due diligence in understanding the laws that surround us, even if we don't agree with them. Did y'all hear those gunshots?
I heard it. I thought somebody was knocking on the damn window.
Man, shit. I'm glad they ain't doing it around here, man. Look, Big Vi. I'm telling you, hey, Big Vi, I think I can get me a peaceful night's sleep tonight. They sound like they outside arguing now, man.
What city are you
in? Lord have mercy.
What city are you in?
I'm in North Carolina. These niggas are hit crazy, man. They stay right down. Hey, look, you ever seen? I mean, like I don't heard about it. I don't heard about it in the big city, man. We down here in North Carolina, man. These niggas out here, man, neighbors, man. I'm talking about when I take my trash out. Guess what I see? You taking your damn trash out. Soon nigga get a bottle, they shooting at each other. You stay right across the street. I said, man, oh my God. That's oh my God, bro. That's why I ain't been up here like that, man, because for the simple fact, my best friend, my brother, he passed away. Man. He passed away in my house. And I stay here by myself. And I stay here by myself. Yeah, yeah, cause I know y'all niggas probably wondering where I was at. I'm always listening now.
Now we thought your hand got caught up in the chicken machine.
It did. Look, hand swelled up and every damn thing hanging them damn bird.
Wow.
Hey, look. Hey, Big Vi. How them dope boys said, slinging all white bird. I was slinging them bitches for real.
Man. But man, I'm sorry to hear about your friend, man. We've been looking for you. We had a whole nother 24-hour line. He gone, man. Damn.
Yeah.
Man, I felt bad for what he said. My best friend, he died in my house and I live here by myself. Like he can see the ghost and stuff.
Thank
This dude right here, boy, never seen to
progress, man.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was the CEO of the UFC, Commissioner Don Wing.
Well, chicken don't cost a thing. Oh hell no, man! Y'all look, it's 10:17, man. We done overdid it a little bit tonight, but it was well worth it, man. We had a goddamn progress sighting. Shout out to Q, man, J Rock, Sir Miguel, Derek, Jeff. It's always a pleasure when the boys meet up and get on this panel, break it down. Levi as well, break it down, man, and put it into context for the people to have the conversation, man. We're not here to change the world. We not here to change the world in one live. You know what I'm saying? But we want to spark the brains, you know what I'm saying, to create the conversations to start the change. You know, that's it. That's all we do. You know, we come on here, throw ideas out there, we point out discrepancies, and it's for the people that's in the chat that's listening, the listeners, to take this information and build on it. Share it, put it out there. Go show somebody who might not know. You know what I'm saying? That person who telling you he guilty, go show him. You know what I'm saying? Pause, screenshot the document. Go show him. Let him know. You said he did what? Well, right here, say he wasn't in no hotel. You know, so Sir Miguel, J Rock, y'all can get y'all closing. And we're gonna wrap this thing up for the night.
Well, I'll go ahead. I'll say, Big Bye, thank you once again for having me on. Sir Miguel, it's always a pleasure to have to link up with you. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Much love to every last one of y'all. Definitely gonna be looking forward to linking up later on. Oh, one other question: have you had a date set for the next 24-hour live?
Oh, not yet. Really, not yet. I haven't. It's probably gonna be in July though. It'll probably be July.
Yeah, because July 4th is I think it's on a Tuesday. So I didn't know if you was thinking about maybe doing it before the 4th or maybe after.
It'll be after. It'll probably be towards the end of July.
Oh, okay.
But during the beginning part of July, I got family reunion on both sides, mama side, daddy side. My grandma, they doing something for my grandma, like a memorial for my grandma. So July gonna be a busy month for myself. So probably towards the ending of July.
Oh, okay. All right, well, it's all gravy then. Shoot, but like I said, thank you for having me on once again, Sir Miguel. Much love to you, my brother, and then everybody else in the chat. And y'all have a good night, and I'll talk to y'all again. A good weekend.
All right, man. We'll see you Friday, man.
You do the same, brother J Rock. Much love, brother. I'm gonna say this. Big Bob, thank you as always, man, for having me on. I appreciate your kindred spirit. Keep doing what God has you to do. More importantly, my people, life is like rolling dice. You have to make your point. Remember, in life, there are no replays, so make it count. To all the beautiful people in the chat, thank you for your support. Continue to do your best, and always remember, each day you wake up, if God breathes the breath of life in you, you have another chance to make a difference, not only for yourself, but for someone else. Love you all. Enjoy the rest of your week. Big Bye. Always, brother. I love you. Appreciate you.
Love you too,
for all you do, man. And know that God got your back, and we don't tolerate bullshit. And at the end of the day, I'm allergic to bullshit anyway. With that being said, I'm done.
Already, man. Till next time, man.
For sure.
Here's what I wanna do, baby. I just wanna take the time tonight, holding your body tight, keeping you warm. Nothing's gonna stop this feeling. No, I just wanna take the time tonight, holding your body tight, keeping you warm. Nothing's gonna stop this feeling. Nothing. Listen, baby, no bill collectors, no landlords. Your boss is tripping, just ignore it. You got plans, come off the CD, take it off home. I just wanna be alone. I just wanna get it on me. If you here's what I wanna do. I just wanna Keeping you warm, yeah. I'll be giving you what you want. I just want to take my time. Keeping you warm, oh yeah. I'll be giving you what you want. That I want you, oh, you want me like I want you. Ooh, baby, that's your lady. Listen, baby, I got to can I have you? Right now, oh, baby. Take my time, yeah. Keeping you warm. Nothing's gonna stop this feeling, no. I just take my time. Let us go the way. Nothing's gonna stop feeling, no. Make you feel good, yeah. Baby, wanna sing, yeah. Making me wanna baby, taking me home. Somebody help me. You need me all alone. No. I just want to take my time tonight. Keeping you warm. Nothing's gonna stop this feeling. I'll be giving you what you want. I just want to take my time tonight. Keeping you warm. Nothing's gonna stop.
All right. Until next time, Friday. See y'all.
Oh, son, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?
I want out. But it's hard. I need answers, Mama.
Robert.
I need answers.
Son.